Here we will see tuple in Python. Tuples are used to store multiple items in a single variable. It is a collection of order and immutable objects which are separated by commas and enclosed in parentheses. Although using parentheses is not required, it is recommended to do so. Whatever the number of objects, even of various data types, can be included in a tuple, such as dictionary, string, float, list, etc. Tuple is a collection of immutable objects, that is, it is unchangeable. Different characteristics of tuples are indexed, tuples are ordered, these are immutable, and they can contain duplicate items. There are different ways for creating a tuple. First we'll see creating an empty tuple. For this we will assign just parentheses to the tuple variable. So here t1 equal to only parenthesis, and when we print it, it will give the output only parenthesis. Next we will see creating tuple having integers. Here tuple is defined and inside parentheses integers 4, 5, 2, 3, 6 are stored, and when we print it, it will give the output tuple with integer 4, 5, 2, 3, 6. We can create a tuple having objects of different data types. Here tuple is defined with 4 as an integer, Python as a string, and 8.2 as a float, and when we print it, it will give the output tuple with different data types as 4, Python and 8.2. We can create a nested tuple. Here tuple is defined with string, list and another tuple, and when we print it, it will give the output. First it will print the string Python, then list and then tuple. There are various ways in which we can access the elements of tuple. First we can use the index operator to access an item in tuple. In Python, indices start at 0. So a tuple having 5 elements will have an index from 0 to 4. Trying to access indexes other than these will raise an index error. The index must be an integer. We can't use float or other data types, which will result in type error. Nested tuples are accessed using nested indexing. Here tuple t1 is defined with elements probe. When we want to print first item, we will use print t1 with 0, which will print p. To print third item, we will use t1 with index 2, which will give o. When we want to print fifth item, we will give t1 with fourth index, so it will give e. Nested tuples are defined as n1 equal to happy and tuple. Happy is a string. To print nested tuple with nested indexing, we will use print n1 0, 1, which will print a, since first tuple is happy and first element from it is a. If we print n1 with 1, 3, it will print 5, since first tuple is 2, 0, 1, 5 and third element from this tuple is 5. If we try to access the element with float data type, it will give error as tuple indices must be integer or slices, not float. Python allows negative indexing for its sequences. The index of -1 refers to the last item, -2 to the second last item, and so on. Here we will see negative indexing in tuple. Here tuple is defined with probe. When we want to print last item with negative indexing, we will use print t1 with -1 as an index. It will give e. And to print fifth last item, we will use t1 -5, which will give p. We can access a range of items in a tuple by using the slicing operator. When we slice the tuple, the start index is inclusive but the end index is exclusive. Here tuple t1 is defined with these elements, and to print elements from index 2 to 4, we will use print t1 with 2 slicing operator and 5, since end index is exclusive. So it will print elements from 2, 3, 4, that is O, G and R. To print elements from index 5 to end, we will use t1 with 5 and slicing operator. It will print the elements from 5th index till last. So 5th index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is A. So it will print elements from A, M, I and Z. And to print elements from beginning to end, we will use just tuple, that is t1, and only slicing operator. So it will print all elements from the tuple.